Well, very good morning to you from San Diego International Airport Terminal 2. This morning I am very excited to be heading up to Seattle to go to the Museum of Flight. Now, I've wanted to do this for a very long time because I'm going up to see a very, very special aircraft indeed, which is the very first Boeing 747. Super excited you're with me. Let's go and check it out.
My day started with a flight on Delta Airlines from San Diego to Seattle, and I've put a link to that video in the description below.
So the Museum of Flight is only actually about 5 miles away. It's 16 minutes or so in an Uber, or you can get on the light railway, but that takes up to an hour, and seeing as I don't have a massive amount of time, I'm just going to go ahead and find an Uber.
If you enjoy these flight review and travel videos, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel. I've got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and I'd like you to be the first to be notified.
So guys, welcome to the Seattle Museum of Flight. Right behind me, a 1954 Super Constellation, right at the entrance. And the cool thing is, this is right at Boeing Field as well. So not only do you get the exhibits, but also the airfield as well.
The museum has East and West Campus buildings. The East Campus houses the T.A. Wilson Great Gallery. This 3 million cubic square foot, 6-story glass and steel exhibit hall houses 39 historical aircraft.
So guys, really impressive entrance area there. Lots of aviation history to look at, but as you know, for me it's all about the big commercial planes, and I'm here to see one very special plane in particular, and I'm heading out that way now.
A quick walk over to the West Campus will take you to the main aviation pavilion via the Space Gallery.
Well, here she is in all her glory, the very first Boeing 747, the prototype that started everything. Ever since I was a young child, I remember seeing this very plane in books, magazines, later on videos. Starting to show my age here. And it's always been a lifelong ambition for me to come and see this beautiful aircraft in the flesh, as it were. So I can finally get to tick this off my bucket list. This is absolutely fantastic. Perfectly preserved. Let's take a look around.
Once you board the 747, you can see a model of one of the first 747 concepts, where the original thought was to stretch the upper deck the entire length of the aircraft. Sadly, there is no access to the flight deck or the upper deck on this exhibit, although this classic spiral staircase shows you how you would access these areas.
So, fun fact about the avionics bay behind me. You can actually go down through that bay and exit the aircraft down via the nose wheel. And it's something I've actually done on an Okada Air Boeing 747-100 back at Stansted Airport in the 90s. I did my work experience with a ground handler, and I got to go and do that. And I can only imagine how that would be frowned upon now from a health and safety standpoint.
This 747, known as RA001, is the very first 747 ever built. After certification and testing in the late 1960s, it served as a test aircraft for several projects, including testing the Pratt & Whitney PW4000 engines for the Boeing 777. The aircraft took its final flight on the 6th of April 1995 and was donated to the museum after 5,300 flight hours. Today, she's exhibited in her original test configuration, having been extensively restored in 2013 and 2014.
I was in the first Boeing 747-400 last week in Atlanta. I've put a link to that video below as well. And it was amazing to see that plane gutted out like that, but to be in the prototype and just to see how vast this airplane is just absolutely unbelievable. Growing up in England and having grandparents that lived on the Heathrow flight path, I would see the Boeing 747-100s of Pan Am and TWA amongst others, and to stand here today and see the plane that started everything off and changed the way we travel is a true privilege. I'm so glad I came.
My next special guest today is a Concorde on loan from British Airways. Alpha Golf was first flown in 1978 and delivered to British Airways in 1980. On its retirement flight from London to Seattle, she set a speed record of 3 hours and 55 minutes, flying supersonic for over 90 minutes.
I never appreciated just how high Concorde sits off the ground. It's really quite amazing. Well, I used to live very close to London, and I would see this plane take off and land every day, and there's nothing like the feeling of being close to Concorde when it's taking off or landing for that matter. It's absolutely awesome. Really wish I'd got a chance to fly on this plane when it was still in service, but it is quite spectacular being on it right now.
British Airways Concordes have 100 seats, with 40 seats in the front cabin and 60 in the rear cabin.
I always wondered how close you'd be to the wing looking out the window, and the answer is if you're in row 1 to 10 on this plane, then you're going to get an unobstructed view. Although the windows are very, very small indeed. You could press the palm of your hand against the full size of a window. It's quite amazing to see. And the cabin, I believe, was all first class, all supersonic class, I believe they called it. Absolutely fantastic. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of the loo review, but somehow I feel they'd be a bit more luxurious on Concorde.
When you're lucky enough to be this close to a Concorde, you can see just how beautiful this aircraft is. What an amazing design, sorely missed. My final guest this afternoon is this beautiful Boeing 787 Dreamliner, number 3 off the production line.
This Boeing Dreamliner was actually the third to be built, and they elected to have number 3 here at the museum because it came with a fitted cabin, whereas the first 2 prototypes did not. One of those prototypes is in, I believe, Tokyo, Japan, and the other one is in Arizona. So let's take a look inside.
The museum's 787-8, known as Zulu Alpha 003, first flew on March the 14th, 2010. In addition to its critical role in flight certification, Boeing flew it to 23 countries during a marketing showcase. The interior is configured both as a passenger aircraft and a test aircraft, with additional space showcasing the development of the 787 Dreamliner project throughout the years.
Well, what a great visit to the Museum of Flight in Seattle. I've had a really great time, and I've definitely ticked one off the bucket list today. I've always wanted to come to this museum. There's so many aircraft that I've wanted to see, and I've had the chance to do it today. I hope you enjoyed coming with me. Now it's time to head back to SeaTac Airport for my flight back to San Diego.
Of course, I focused mostly on the 3 aircraft that I came here to see, but there's so much more to the museum. With the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Park, the Personal Courage Wing, the Boeing Red Barn and the Space Gallery, this is a full day out for aviation enthusiasts.
Well guys, that's it from me for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm about to find my flight back to San Diego. I'm flying back on a Boeing 737-800. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I will look forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, take care. Your SDAV Geek.